Okay, so now we move on to our second topic, that is about the extension teaching method. In the previous slides, we studied about the introduction about what is extension teaching methods and how the learning and teaching process take place in extension teaching method. So now we will move on to extension teaching methods and what are their classification, and inside the classification what is the matter. So the first thing is we have to know what is actually teaching extension teaching methods. So extension teaching methods are the tools and techniques used to create situation in which communication can take place between the rural people and the extension workers. So it's simply the techniques and tools that is used by the extension workers to teach the rural people. For example, if a person wants to give a demonstration of how to do harvesting through the threshers or the machineries, then that person has to have a good quality of technique, that is, and tools. That is, tools in this example can be associated with the tractors or the machineries or the um, tractor and the machineries that are used, and how to install, how to start, how to use it. That can be the techniques. Other thing is that there are so many techniques for different crops, so they have to teach all that to the rural people. Actually, in this method, in this teaching method, the extension worker has to be very patient to understand the rural people mind and act according to that. Uh, they are the methods of expanding new knowledge and skills to the rural people by drawing their attention towards them. So it's simply like they need to have something very interesting for them, not the same, the monotonous things that they are doing from several years. That should be a good techniques or good things, so that the person is so much involved in that and get excited to learn about the thing, arouse their interest. That is, if you will do the same thing, maybe the interest of the people will be very less and they will avoid being coming together and learning about the things. So you need to have something very interesting thing, so that the people by themselves they come dragging towards whatever the things you are doing, and helping them to have a successful experience of the new practices. So whatever the practices is there, they need to have a successfully experience to the people. Why? Because new practices are not adapted to everyone, and being in the rural areas, people are very um, traditional, and they are stubborn about the culture and the process that they are following from years to years. So it's very difficult for them to change their mind, change their behavior, and uh, come up with something new, which is very much important to them. And the new practices will help them to understand the fact, like whether the thing is very much valid to them or not, whether they are able to come up with the facts, whether they are able to understand the things, whether it is hampering their previous life or not. This should be there. A proper understanding of these methods and their selection for a particular type of work are necessary. So it's simply like whatever methods we are using and whatever the selected material that we are using for explaining the new practices should be necessary for that thing. It's not like unnecessary things you put it on that and it will become a problem for them itself. So this is the classification of extension teaching methods. So this classification of extension teaching method is divided into two forms. One is according to use and other one is according to the form. If you talk about the according to the use, it is individual contact method, group contact method, and mass contact method. And according to form, written, spoken, visual, and or objective, or spoken or visual. Okay, so now we move on to first thing according to the use. So one way of classifying the extension method is according to their use and nature of content. So according to the use, why we classify into use, because most of the methods are always having a tool and techniques. So where that tools are used, and how you are going to contact to the people using that tools, and the techniques how you will use to that person, how you will interact, or you will explain the technique to the person. In other words, whether they are used for contacting people individually, in a group, or in a mass. So we can say that what type of nature of contact is, whether it is an individual person who has came to learn about the new practices, or it is a group of people, like it's a 10 to 15 people, and whether it is a mass, it's a huge people, you are it's people from all over this district, or it's a people from all over the state that are coming. Based upon the nature of contact, they are divided into individual, group, and mass contact methods. So now we will understand how these, according to the use, these things are being divided. So first one is individual contact method. So extension method under this category provide opportunity for face-to-face or person-to-person contact between the rural people and the extension worker. So uh, individual contact methods, it will help the person to get involved with the fact that how this person is going to uh, benefit how the process or the whatever the extension worker has came up with the program is going to benefit to the person. So sometimes the person first they explain to the panchayat, they will enter the village and they will explain to the panchayat, and the panchayat, the sarpanch of that panchayat is the main person who come up and understand the fact, like this is the thing I need to work upon, or this is the new concept I have brought, this is the program. Plus it means they are contacting individually, then understanding the local problem, they need to have a contact with other people also. These methods are very effective in teaching new skills and creating goodwill between farmers and the extension worker. Okay, so as a human nature, when you are in a group, you are introducing yourself to the person in a group. Many of the people will not understand you, will not have a good interaction with you, because maybe they have some other idea or other conception about you, or other perception about you. But when you have the person as what we say, as individually, when you contact them, then you will understand that the person is very much involved in whatever you are saying. So maybe he will be good listener and he will understand the fact, and it is easy for you to make him understand, because in a group there are 30 people. If there are 30 people, they are having 30 different minds to explain their this explain a single scenario. But if you are with the individual, you will have a interaction, a good discussion about the things, and then you can have a proper outcome, or the positive outcome. Mostly in the individual contact method, you have a positive outcome to the whatever the program you are having, or whatever the interaction is going on. Second one is group contact method. Under this category, the rural people or the farmers are contacted in a group which usually consists of 20 to 25 people. These groups are usually formed around a common interest. So, the second category is this group contact method. So so you are explaining your idea as an extension worker to 20 to 25 farmers, uh, and these farmers are those who are interested in your program. It's not like some other person is there who is not interested, and he comes and he tries to uh, take the important things, or maybe he will disturb you, maybe he will distract you, maybe he will comment in such a way that there is a good then some fight arise, or in what we say, conflict arise. So to avoid that thing, a common interest people, they come together, and that is in that common interest group people, you disseminate your knowledge. This method also involves an face-to-face contact with the people, providing an opportunity for the exchange of ideas. So, like I have said, like if I am talking about the issue of uh, women working in fields, whether women should be working in the field, or whether uh, children should also, means whole family is working on the field, or whether women are kept at home. So there is a interaction between the farmers to explain whether how much that is important. If it is not important, what is the reason? If it is important, what is the reason? And how you can improve that thing, so that all things works together. So these methods also involve, okay, for discussion on problems and technical recommendation, and finally for the describing the future course of action. So giving an idea, then having a discussion on that idea, and taking solution of that problem, possible solution, and you can also give some techniques or the solution to them, so that that is very much acceptable by them, and then carrying out that particular thing for the future. For example, if there is a irrigation problem, or transportation, means market problem is there, where people are not able to go to the market and sell their products. So we can have some, we can sit on that thing, why people are, there is a very less contact with the market and the farmer. So they will give some ideas, like maybe the roads are not good, maybe there is no not enough yield that we get, or people they don't give money, and also there are thousands of things, and then we sum up that roads are not good, or the vehicles are not coming to that, because of that vehicles are not coming to the village. So they can have a solution on that particular thing, and they can recommend for making government or the local government to make mm, roads, so that they can have interaction. Then mass contact methods. So mass contact method, in this, an extension worker has to approach a large number of people for disseminating a new information and helping them to use it. This can be done through mass contact method. These methods are not more useful for making people aware of the new agriculture technology quickly. So if there is a different type of irrigation is there, different type of chemical fertilizers are there. So mass contact method helps them to get the idea in 2 to 3 seconds, and the person will have some important factors which will help them to go through the things. So the extension worker will use some new information to disseminate to the farmers. So important extension teaching methods under three category are listed below. So these are the three category. So for individual contact method, farm and home visit. Like individual means if you go to the one farmer's farm, you go and ask, your yield is very nice, what is the reason, how this thing is going on. Then home visit, how your livelihood is, if the project is about monitoring the livelihood of the people who are living in the rural area, so they go for that. Then office calls are there, like one to one communication is there. So you, if you have any doubt, you can call to the ICR office, or sorry, KBK office, or any Kisan helpline call or something, and then uh, you can go and I have a interaction with it. Then telephone calls, then through personal letter also you can have an interaction with one to one individual. Then group is mass demonstration or result demonstration, national demonstration leading like training meetings are there, conferences are there, meetings are there, workshops are there. Then field trips like 20-25 people are my is are grouped together, and they all go to some area where they have people who have done demonstration on so many products, and they have adopted new technology. So field trips are good for them to understand, like before making any project, they you can have a field trip so that the farmers can easily understand what is the need for that particular program. Mass mass contact methods are about bulletins, like you have posters and leaflets are there. Um, then circulars are there, then radios are there, televisions is there, exhibitions are there, then Kisan Mela or something are there, posters are there that are displayed. Thousands of people, whether interested or not interested, they all see in that. Then, according to the form, according to the form, they have divided into three, that is written, spoken, audio, and visual. So written is bulletin thing, leaflet, personal letter, circulars. These are all the form of write up. Okay, spoken like meetings, discussion they are having, office calls are there, then telephone calls are there, and radios are there. That are all spoken. One person speaks and everybody listens to it. Then a objective or a visual, that is result demonstration, how to, if you are introducing something program related to the fertilizers. So if you applied NPK in this particular amount with this new chemical, then how much yield will be there. That is, and if the result are positive, that the yield is benefited to the farmer, then it will show a result demonstration. Then demonstration posters are there. So for every process, they have a poster, like how to sow the seeds, at what distance, how to do mulching, how to do rotation cropping, and also posters are there. Then motion pictures like movies are there, so that is, then graph, because of this new introduction, how much the graph has went, how much the yield was there, how much income was given to the family. Then slides, films, models, and exhibitions. So there are so many models that we are using to give to the people. Okay, so this is all about what this extension teaching methods are there. We will learn about each of the product in the later coming session, and it will be very helpful. And we will come across so many different types that will um, be used, and which type is suitable for what form of information dissemination. Now we move on to our new topic, that is about the rural leaders. We will, in this topic, we will learn about the concepts, the traits, and how we select and what is the use of that particular thing, particular selection. So, what actually leaders are? So, leader is a person who has been spontaneously considered or chosen as a being influencing in a specific situation. So, a person who is a leader is considered to be chosen through his influencing power or situation that he produced before other people. Leaders are persons who are selected by the people because of their special interest or fitness to work on some phase of the local program. So, if I talk about the extension workers, they are one of the type of leader that they are selected by the organization, or they themselves got get some special interest in a particular local programs for dissemination of the information or the new practices or the pattern of crops and all. So these are the selected peoples. Then a leader is an individual whose relations, judgments, and feelings are accepted by the group as the basis of belief and action. So, the person who is a leader, he always has a group of people on which he tries to uh, monitor or tries to uh, impose power. So, this person is a individual whose relations, means relation in the sense is whatever the way he is speaking to the person, the way he is trying to put effect on the others, is what we consider as a relation in terms of leader. So judgment, whether the judgment is fair, and if the judgment is very fair and according to the need of the person, according to the need of the farmer, then they will be very much interested in, like enthusiastically they will take part in this. And then uh, and feelings in the sense, like he understands the way the person tries to acknowledge the problem. If the farmer is having a problem of irrigation, then he will understand the value of the water, and then he will tries to recommend practices which are related to irrigation. Okay. uh, as okay, except by the group. So all of these which is favorable, a very basic part that is seen in the leader is favorable to the person, and then that person tries to go for further things, and he builds a belief in the group by his actions. A leader is one who helps the member of the group. As an individual, he accepts the responsibility for thinking through the problems and working out solutions that needs to be discovered. So it's not like he just give a advice to them, but he helps the people to understand, like group. Okay, I am doing this thing. Maybe this is good for you, for the group, but also for the individual also. He keeps in mind this thing, and he takes the responsibility to think for them for the group. And then he works on the problem, he go in depth in the problem and understand like how much that more improvement is required. Then leader should have a leadership quality. So leadership is a type of a quality that is that changes the behavior of the group or the person. So leadership may be described as the interaction between leader and followers in a particular situation. So whatever the situation can be, the situation can be related to road construction, um, mm, uh, mm, related to unemployment, related to irrigation problems, related to field problems, related to family problems. Any situation can be there, but the way the leader interact is the quality of a leadership. It involves attempts on the part of the leader. Okay, so it's not like always the complainer or the person who come for seeking help from the leader is the person who do all the process and all. It's a attempt that is made by the leader to affect the behavior of the follower in the situation. So it's not like the person who comes with the problem will change the um, behavior of the leader, but it's a good part. But still the leader has to have some quality to change the um, behavior of the followers. Means whatever the solution, the problem they are coming up, he his leadership quality should give a particular situation that is very effective to them. In the view of leadership, according to our present usage, meaning the direct face-to-face contact between leaders and follower, and it is a personal social control. It is personal social control. So leadership, like we, if we talk about this, it's a direct interaction with the person who has the problem, and try to come up with face to face so that he or she can understand the problem very nicely. Between it is a contact between leader and the person who is following him, and it's a personal social control, means like it the thing will not disseminate to the other group members. Maybe if he has or she has a personal problem, then it can be taken up through the leaders. Is the Furthermore, is the process of influencing the behavior of the individual, like whatever we are studying in this course, that is about the fundamentals of extension agriculture extension education plays a very crucial role in changing the behavior. So leadership is also related to educating the people in a very personal or a very confidential way, and influential way. So they influence the behavior of the person and give situations in a given situation, like uh, we don't consider everyone as our leader. Okay, so a particular leadership quality will attract the people to follow that person. Okay, so this is the in a particular situation, people start to judge who is our leader. Leadership is the phenomena of influencing, guiding, and directing the actions and thoughts of people in a in, intended direction. Okay, so whatever the direction they are following, you need to have a quality of leadership in a such a way that that particular person tries to get attached, influenced by the person's personality, by the person's thoughts, by the person's um, uh, solutions, and then go forward. So it's not only just influencing, it guides also for the problem they are coming, or maybe they will have some his original things, or his own knowledge that should be, he thinks or she thinks on her part, that his part, that it should be disseminated to the people, and that will guide to some development. So it need to be having a um, people's influence in that, so that leaders influence to the people so that they can follow that thing. Then what are the functions of a leader? If we talk about the functions of the leader, he represents the whole group, obviously. Like nowadays there are Kisan Andolan going on. So who is the leader? The person who is main chief of that group. He takes all the problems of that group, he talks to them beforehand, and uh, come up with so many listing of the problems. If he can give a solution on his part, so he gives the solution. If not, then he takes that particular problems to the further level. He speaks on the behalf of the group. So he says always, like, my group says, we won't take this thing, or we are agreeing on this, so we all are agreement, we will sign the agreement or something like that. Coordinate the group activity. So he always coordinate the group activity because he is the representative, he is the person who is going to have a effective bond on to the others. So he effective bond with the group people. So he tries to have a control over them and tell them to be actively participating in this, in whatever the program which is set towards them. He helps the group in sorting out the plans for achieving the goal. So whatever the goal is there of the group. Okay, so if a group tries to give an example, tries to have a solution on hospital facility. So they will choose a leader who can talk about the hospital facility to the local governments, LGs, or to the panchayat and try to have a good interaction with the other people on the higher level, and then in some way he or she will tries to achieve the goal of having a healthcare in their village or in their society. He is responsible for the evaluation of the progress of the group. So even not just all the problems and all, even he sees like whether everybody in the group is supportive to them, and whatever he is doing on behalf of them, whether they are appreciating it or whether they are developing on their own part also or not. This is the responsible evaluation, means he takes a feedback from the group. The behavior of the leader and the relationship of the leader with the people may differ from situation to situation. So it's like it's not always good or in the positive sense. Sometimes most of the leader they don't they disagree about the facts and solution that is produced by the leader. So even if there is a disagreement, it depends on the situation of what type of things is there. Okay, if your girls education is the topic, maybe 20 people are not a 50 people group is there, and only 20 people are saying yes and 30 people are saying no. So the person will have a some differences in the thoughts, but a leader should collaborate everything and try to change the behavior. Okay, and he should not like being a stubborn person or become rigid on the particular thing. Okay, so what are the skills of a effective community leader? First one is interpersonal skills. So the ability to interact with the people in a positive way. So if a person who is always trying to show the drawbacks of the village, drawbacks of the other people, drawbacks of everything, negative, 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 and it is and that produce a unwanted stress on the people or on the group. So this type of leader are not all not considered as people are not considered as a leader. So they have a interpersonal, the leader should have a interpersonal skills, means he or she should have a good way of communicating to the people, understanding the people, going putting his leg in their shoe, and then understanding how much pain they are going, and then coming out with the solutions. Then self management, the ability to prioritize and complete tasks and deliver them within an allotted time. So like in schools and in college we have group projects and all, so there will be a one person who will divide the fact like who will do what, and after that is decision is made, then they will try to put that decision into some facts and then reduce that furthermore they will go and go for further a process in that, and then whatever the allotted time they will try to complete everything on time and submit that thing. The ability to control oneself under stress. So this is what the leadership quality teaches a leader, that how much stress you are going through. Maybe in that group, when you are given a project, maybe in that group some people are lazy. They say yes yes in the first time, and and later on they avoid the things, they say I can't do, or on end time they will say no I can't have any, I was like this, they have excuses and all. So the leader should have already managed all these things so that he can help the people to come together and try to manage everything on a given allotted time. Then influencing other, the ability to personally affect other action, decision, opinion, or thinking. So a leader always doesn't lead on the group. He also leads on the individuality also. So if their person who is, um, if like for example in office our boss is very friendly with the employees, then the employee also become very interactive to that person. They will go and tell their personal problems without hesitating, and that leads to mental reduction of the mental stress, and further it will lead to the success of the business and all. So that type of leadership quality a person should have, effective leadership quality that the person should have. Okay. Then goal achievement, the overall ability to set, pursue, and attain achievable personal, professional, and team goals, regardless of obstacles or circumstances. So, um, always a leader thinks about the group benefit and tries to achieve all the goals that is set by the group through discussion. So, he should have an ability to set, pursue, and attain at achievable personal. So they need to have a pursue and attain, means whatever they can have the goal of that thing, they will try to go forward and achieve that particular goal, personally also, professionally also, and as a team also. So even when this all when the process of achievement of the goal is going on, there are so many obstacles, still the leader tries to have a ability to overcome the obstacle and give the particular achievement to the group. Then there are traits of an effective leader. First one is emotional stability. So a leader shouldn't be very aggressive, or shouldn't be very rude, or shouldn't be so humble, also shouldn't be so polite and soft. The um, the emotional stability should be there, so that he can control his emotion and tries to figure out what is the in-depth solution or problem of that situation, and give a solution according to that. Dominance, the person leader uh, are often competitive and divisive, and usually enjoy overcoming obstacles. So overall, they are, so we can say like dominance in this is whatever he is saying, he is trying to impose that thing to the people by their will. So it is, that is the dominance he is that person leader is doing to the group. Then enthusiasm. So the leader cannot be very lazy, or not interested in the group's demand and all, or always tries to put his own ideas and make it as a milestone to finish that thing. So it shouldn't be like that, and lazy leaders can ruin the group. So enthusiasm is one of the factor that gives a leader a leadership quality and the influencing power to influence the other.
Conscientiousness.
So now we have the conscientiousness. So leaders are often dominated by the sense of duty and tends to be very exacting in the character. So whatever the character of the person is there, they tries to what we can say, they that person, so he tries to do the work very thoroughly and with the influence, or by the willing power or the wishing quality of the group. So whatever the group wishes, the leader tries to act upon it, and that becomes his character also. They usually have a very high standard of excellence and inward desire to do one's best. So obviously if they know the quality, like this is going to be putting a positive remark to the group members, then they try to put whole uh, heart in that, heart and mind, and try to achieve that thing, and with the intelligence they use that thing, and they complete the facts or the goals with a good excellence. They also have a need to order and tend to be very self disciplined. So they are not like only the group member will be disciplined or they will work for this thing, I will just lead them. It's not like that. He or she also on his part have the quality to um, go through the step by step process to achieve a particular goal and work thoroughly for the group. Then social boldness. So it's not like they shouldn't have a good um, interactive power only in the group, but they should also have an interactive power to talk to anybody in the society or in the higher authority. Tough mindedness means the good leaders are practical, logical, and to the point. So they don't beat around the bush about the facts and problems. They will say, okay, this is what I think. What do you have the this thing? And I have this logic with this example. So what do you think we should go further or not? Even he understands the sentiments of that person, and but he takes a bold step in social boldness. So he takes a bold step to maintain his quality of leader and tries to um, come up with a positive solution. Then self assurance, self confident, and resilience are common trend among leaders. They tend to be free of guilt and have little or no need for approval. Okay, so whatever they know that whatever solution he is or she is producing is of his confident and it doesn't have any drawbacks in that. So uh, they know that if I give a positive result to one of the member in the group, maybe the other member will be not satisfied by by my things, but still he tries to have a control over his emotion, and then he tries to have the positivity in him or her and tries to give a solution. Compulsiveness, so they try to find a control over the a social interaction. It's not like other person is going on telling this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. The leader should have a quality of overcoming the negativity that is he or she is facing through in front of the person. So decision making power becomes a very crucial part in leaders when there is a social interaction for the group.